Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. I have the blank. Do I have a bingo? Well, this is quite a tantalising rack. Now, rotivator is a 9-letter word, so I don't have that. Varactor is good. Great, I do have a bingo. That stops one square short of a double word square, so it would be nice to have an alternative. Column 5 would be nice with the double lane, but that would be duplicating the O. So at the moment all I have is Varactor. There may be something else through the C. Caveator, I don't have the letters for. Varactor gets doubled, so I don't need to consider the U or the N unless I can get the V on the triple letter square in column 6. Can't see a way of doing that. Now what about column 8? That would be good. A play ending or beginning with the T. I've got the over prefix using the blank as an E, so that would be over rat. Can't see anything there. Well, I may have to go with Varactor. Let me have a quick squiz through the alphabet and see if anything leaps into my mind. Nothing so far apart from the bingo I've spotted. The double R doesn't really help very much. Nothing other than Varactor. Great, well that's my play. If I draw an S, I'll be able to score well. Varactor 74. I don't draw the S, but I have got a balanced rack, and I may have a bingo. I've got the Asian suffix onto the N of count. Nothing there. I've got quite a few through the N. Tamanoir, Animator, all been blocked. Good bingo for my opponent, 64 points. So, do I have a bingo? I don't think I have a 7. So do I have an 8? What are the floaters? There's the... I really need to look at the floaters in Reminder. Can't see anything with the R. Or the E. Or the M. A lot of these floaters duplicate tiles I have. What about the D? No, can't see anything there. And the R I've considered. Okay, so what do I want to do to sort this rack out? Probably just play off the M, the A and the O, or possibly the I as well, which I can do with M-O-A-I. That plays down here. That's 24 points, not fantastic. But it achieves exactly what I wanted to achieve in terms of playing off the tiles I wanted to play off. Great. That looks pretty close to a bingo. Do I have one? If I don't, I should be able to sort the rack out really easily by playing off the H and the A. And I've got the S for pluralizing varactor. But before I consider that, do I have a bingo? Column 9 is available to put the S on the end of count, so any 7-letter play will be playable. Can't see one through an L. I would have Trahalas. What about the M? That looks like there could be something there. Well, I'm not seeing it. The D is still available, of reminder. Can't see anything there. And the I of Moai. Okay, so do I pluralize varactors? Varactor. I could play hens. 48 points. Or I can just play R down here and keep a fantastic rack leave. That's 30. Well, that's certainly worth the 18-point sacrifice, retaining this rack leave compared to AA RS, and also with this board position as opposed to column 1 being opened with the H. I'm just pausing in case I've overlooked a bingo. That was a really promising rack. Well, if I have missed a bingo, I don't think it's going to cost me a lot because I'm getting 30 points for this play and the rack leave is excellent. Okay, plenty of bingos in column 9. Satires, Sarist, Artsies, Tyras. Nice slot in play by my opponent for 33 points. So, do I have anything better than column 9? Moai does not take any hooks at the end. Well, I can't see anything better than this. Satires 67 points. Not a great rack. I do have scoring tiles in the P and the W. So a play of Woo would leave a decent rack leave. I note that my opponent's play of Bai has taken out the S hook for Varactor. I don't think I have a bingo with this rack, but onto a D I would have Pear Wood, P-E-A-R Wood, which I think is good. No such Ds available right now. Arbor takes an S on the end, so if I had an S, column 8 would be available down onto the triple word square at 08. I haven't seen anywhere to play my W. Well, I could play Woo in column 10, making Nor 2 and IO. Only 16 points, but leaving a really good rack leave. And I'd certainly rather play off the W than the P, because the P is a more bingo-y tile. IO takes an N and an S after it. Now I could play Wooer in this spot for 10 more points, and I'm inclined to do that. Plenty of E's left. Ah, but this is the last R. Well, I would still rather have the points. I think because this board is tight, so on a tight board, a good rack leaves value is diminished because if you have a bingo, you may not be able to play it. Not good, and that's the risk of playing off 5 tiles. Pretty ropey. My K can go in front of the Y of zany. But the problem I have with this rack is leaving a decent rack leave, and I've only got a 37-point lead, which could easily vanish, particularly if my opponent bingos, and column 11 is available as a bingo lane. Now, K can also go after ER, so I could play in column 11 myself. Do I have a 5-letter play beginning with the K? I don't, but I do have Glaik, Glaik, which plays in column 11, making erg. And that would be good. It would turn over a lot of tiles, leave a decent rack leave, score a reasonable amount, and take out a good spot or a good bingo lane. Now I've got 11 minutes left. My opponent's got 16, and there are 40 tiles in the bag. I'm looking in row J. I've got the mega prefix, but the remainder of my tiles don't make a word. I'm also looking in row H for future reference. 3 tiles that can go in front of counts. Viscounts is one possibility, but both V's have gone. And discounts also can play. My opponent is taking a while, so he may be close to a bingo or just have a tricky rack. Now, what if Glaik is blocked? What am I going to do? Varactors, or the Via Varactor, really obstructs the top left of the board. I suppose I could play Pylor in row A. Only 13 points. That's not very much. I haven't seen anything good to play in column 2 next to Zany. I don't have a tile to go after IO in column 11. So really Glaik is the only respectable play I've identified so far. And it's not blocked. Fantastic. My opponent only scores 11 points, which is also good. That may be because he's close to a bingo, or it could be just that he had a difficult rack. Glaik, although taking out one bingo lane, does provide another good one in column 12 for bingos ending in S. But I think this is still the best move available on this board. Well, a truly horrible rack. 4 big tiles, very difficult to play them off, and I've got the UV combination, and I'm only 50 points ahead. So I'm in quite a vulnerable position in this game. And looking at the tiles that are left, there are certainly they're quite a bingo-y bunch of tiles. So, is there a way of playing off 3 of these 4 tiles? Probably not. I could play Fap in column 2, making Phi. Wow, that's over 30 points. But it's keeping P, U, and V. I can't place my P next to the I of Glake because nothing goes in front of K. Now, what about to play... Well, I could play Fap next to Glake, making If and Car. But I think Fap is the best I can see. Okay, there goes a bingo for my opponent. He now takes a lead. One of my Fap spots has gone. This one's still available, and I feel better about this now. My opponent's play of illusion has opened up the board, so I'm inclined to open it up some more, especially as I'm behind. And that's only 24 points. Not very many. So, can I do better than that? This just doesn't feel like the best move, but it's an atrocious rack, so it's unlikely that anything will feel that great. I'm looking in column 14 to see if I can use the triple letter square. I could play Poof through the O of illusion, P-O-U-F. $18 points. I don't have anything to go after Erg. I don't have anything which begins with the L of Glake's. Now maybe I should play off either the two P's or the F and the V. So fave is a good 4-letter word, but I can't see anywhere to play that. My opponent's played the second blank. There's only one S available, so it'd be nice to play off a lot of tiles to increase my chances of drawing that. I've got an A for going in front of Zoe, so I could play Pupa down here. Let me see what this scores. 24 points, not very many. And I don't have any tiles which can go in front of the U. Looking at the remaining tiles, a G and an N and an X can all go there. Well, I don't like it, but I'm going to go with this play. I draw the X and a G, so if I'd played Pupa, I'd have had 2 tiles. But I have what I have. Now, do I have Expunge in column 14? I think I do. Well, that'll play off 6 tiles, keeping just a V, and it'll score well. Over 40 points. I'm 1 point behind at the moment, but my opponent is on turn. Now, I've got X in column 10 to the left of Glake's. That's going to score over 50 points. Will that stay available? Yes, it does. And I think this is better than expunge because expunge scores fewer points and provides very easy access to the triple word square in column 15. So, although the rack leave here is awful, I think this is the better play. Well, that's not too bad. I've got an 18-point lead. Does my opponent have the S? There's a Q and a U out there as well, so there could be some big plays in column 15. I'm wondering if I can close down that opportunity by playing my V where my opponent has played. Okay. So what do I do here? 30 points for my opponent. He's got a 10-point lead. There are 10 tiles in the bag. I've got 7 minutes on the clock. I think I need to play in column 15. But what can I play there? Such a shame. It would be nice to have a fantastic 30 or 40 point play, but I'm struggling to see anything. I've got Gude, G-U-D-E, 22 points. Surely I can do better than that. I don't know about punged. I don't feel confident enough to try it. Pendu is good, and upend. Neither of those fit. So if I play there, my E's got to go here. It would be nice to place my D here. Well, I've got Pudge. That plays off quite a few tiles, so yep, 31 points. Pudge. Slight doubt in case it's just pudgy. Ah, what about unpeg? I think unpeg is good, and this is going to score slightly more. And I think the D has some synergy with the V. 31 points. Great, I draw the U and the Q. I don't know if I'm going to be able to score well with them. But I'm glad my opponent doesn't have them. Well, on my rack I've got quid and equid. I'm looking in row N to see if I can place my Q on the triple letter square. I don't think I can. No R for quiver. No S for discounts. I've got toque in row D, T-O-Q-U-E. 28 points. That would give me an 11-point lead, but I'd be retaining D-I, V-I. 2 tiles in the bag. Have I overlooked a really good Q spot? Well, I've got the D. Ah, this might be quite good because nothing can go in front of the U. I've got the E for going in front of it, and there are no other E's out there. Look at the remaining tiles. There's only one vowel. My opponent's in trouble. So quid, 35 points. This is going to put me on 387, an 18-point lead. My rack leave is good, VIE. with a draw of 2 consonants is going to sit pretty well. My opponent can't take advantage of the U in front of the triple word square because he's got nothing that can go in front of it. So I'm opening up no opportunities for my opponent. What I need to consider is, are there any amazing J spots I need to block? And I don't think there are. So I'm going with this. I draw the J, which I think is fine. Can't see a way of using it, well, there isn't a way of using it and taking advantage of the equid hook. Jet and jive are the 2 moves I've got on my rack. So I can play jive in row N, making F. I think my opponent's in trouble. He's 19 points behind, but he's only got 1 vowel. So he's going to struggle to put together 2 high-scoring plays. However, he may be able to win. I haven't identified many spots for my J. I've got Joe in column 13 making jag and et. That's a 30+ point play. That might just be the winning move. So I've got jive in row N, Joe in column 13. What else is available? Well, Jew in row A for not very much. Jive in row D for not very much. I've got nothing which goes in front of the U of quid, so that triple word square is safe from both of us. I've got jet A in row N making F and tie. Well, all of my J plays are down in that bottom right-hand corner. My opponent could block them. I do have others in the top left, but they're very low scoring. So this could be a close end to the game. My opponent's got 8 minutes on his clock. I've got 3 minutes on mine. Can't see anything at the top right of the board. Well, I've got J-E-U in row G onto the U of unpeg. 18 points. And I'll need to take note after my opponent's played as to whether he can then go out in 1, because then I will know if I've got the opportunity to plan an out in 2, or whether I'm just looking for the best move after taking count back into consideration. Through an A I would have Taj, but there's no available A for that. Now if I played Joe in column 13, my rack leave would be V-I-T. I could play Vita in row E onto the A of Varactor. Do I have a second out? Well, not that I can see. Well, yes I do. Or rather I don't. I was looking at Vite in row N. Great, my opponent only gets 13 points. And I can see what he's got left. A-D-double-L-T. He's not going to go out with that. He's provided no new opportunities for my J. So, I'm thinking of playing Joe. 35 points. My only out is Vita in row E, but I don't think that matters. I'm 5 points ahead at the moment, but I'm going to be 40 points ahead after this move. Does it matter? Could I get stuck with the V? If I am stuck with it, I've got the T and the I to score with. Well, I think I do have to play Joe here because, well, I could play though in this spot. Does that give me more outs? Don't think it does. There's no good spot for my J. So I'm going to go with Joe, and I think this should be good enough, even if I'm stuck with the V. So I have VIT, I've got Vita in row E. I'm not sure I've identified anywhere else for my V to play. If I am stuck with the V, that's 8 points for my opponent. That takes him on to 390, so he's 32 points behind. So he needs to outscore me by 32 points. I don't think he's going to do that. I've got Via in row E. I'm looking around for anywhere where my V can play, regardless of whether it's an out play or just a play. Great. Well, I mean, well done to my opponent. He's blocked my out. So, what's the most I can score with my T and my I? Okay, I've got just 1.5 minutes. I've got Tot for 3 points in row D. I'm scanning the board, imagining I've got a T and an I on my rack. I've got 5 points here. I'm blocking my 5 points for if. Well, I am going to play this. I'm very short on time. So I'm now 37 points ahead. I'm now looking, I've got 42 seconds to find the best spot for my I. So I've got IOs in column in row B, 3 points. Haven't seen anything else yet. In row H for 2 points. Lie in row M for 2 points. Wow. Well, there were very slim pickings for the T and the I at the end of this game. So I think IOs for 3 points is the best I can do. That will take me to 430. I'll lose 8 on count back. 422. My opponent needs to score 32 points with ADLT. He might come close to doing that. I'm able to get 1 more point. Fantastic. Now, I'm just looking around in case I've overlooked a spot for my V. That can sometimes happen. So I'm again scanning down through the squares on the board, row by row. And there's nowhere for my V, so I'm just going to pass as my opponent plays out his 3 remaining tiles, and he probably ought to do that one at a time. but I don't think he's going to get what he needs, but this is going to be a very close end. So I pass. I'm making sure after each of my opponent's plays that he hasn't provided an opening for my V. So my opponent's target is 20 more points. I don't think he can do that with the L and the T. I need to make sure that I don't run overtime and lose 10 points. Only 3 points for loss. And I don't think he's going to get much more for the T, if anything. Well, I'm glad I got as many points as I did for Joe, because my opponent is going to finish quite close. He's got just under 3 minutes left. I've got 20 seconds. Okay, and pass to end the game. And the final score, 417 to my opponent, 431 to me, a winning margin of 14 points. So a really close finish. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He has a nice rack. And wow, there were alternatives. I played Varactor for 74. Over Tart was good, and that does hit the triple word square at A8, so that would have been the play. Cavorta was also available, down from the C of count, but that would have opened up row O, so I prefer Varactor, but over Tart would have been better than either. Nice rack for my opponent. This is where he bingoed with Reminder. Now, did I miss a bingo? No, I didn't. I played Moai, keeping ART, and that looks fine. Wow, Hetera's bad miss. Where did that play? E6 through the E of Reminder. Yep, that was a missed bingo. What did I do? I played a H for 30. Okay, so I gave up 42 points. I don't think my rack lead was worth 42 points, but it's going to be worth quite a lot because AERST is very bingo-y, so this isn't a disastrous missed bingo. As you can see, I had many bingo opportunities after keeping that really good bingo-y 5-letter set. M6 Iris 8s. Okay, well, I didn't see that, but it's only 2 more points than my play. Now, did my opponent have a bingo? Yes, he did. A couple of available bingos. Now, this is when my rack started to deteriorate. I played Wooer for 26, keeping AP. Tow Rope was also available. But that's not so good because it's placing an E in the middle of column 15. So I think Wooer is the best play there. Did my opponent have a bingo? Yes, Aeneas. Well, this is where I played Glake, but I could have had Kalpa and Azo in column 2, and I didn't see that, but it certainly would have been a better play, scoring 13 more points. Nice bingo for my opponent. My rack was awful. Pav M13, okay, 26 points. I played Fap for 24. A lot of those moves are pretty similar. Did my opponent have needling? Yes, he did. Now, this is where I played X for 52, and the alternative was expunge for 46, but I think X was better for the reasons stated. Now, at this point, I'm 12 points behind with a pretty horrible rack. Vend and Zoe, that's interesting. Pudge was good. Instead, I played Unpeg for the same score. And I played Quid for 35, and I think that's best. I think it's got to be worthwhile holding on to the E when there's only one vowel unseen. Now, what should my, or could my opponent have done here? Well, look at that. None of his options scored much, and I don't think any of them gave him an out in 2, so I think he was just in a pretty bad place. I played Joe for 35, but that ended up with me getting stuck with the V, and I think given that Jive for 14 fewer points is probably a better play, because I think I can go out, or I can go out with my T in various spots around the board. Not for many points, but I'm guaranteed an out. Whereas hanging on to the V cost me 8 points in count back, and my opponent was able to play out his tiles one at a time. But there probably isn't a huge amount between Joe and Jive, because after Joe, not only does Joe score 14 more points, but I'm also able to play out my I and my T to eke out a few more points. So Joe wasn't disastrous at all. Yeah, my opponent's choices were grim. There are, as you can see, there are no opportunities for playing my V. And it and Tet for 9 was available somewhere. Well, that's playing off the I and the T. I think it's better to play them off separately. And at this point, tie for 4 is the most that was available. I got the same points for Din. And now I have no play. And still no play. And my opponent goes out, and that ends the game. So it was a close end to the game, but I had established enough of a lead that my being stuck with the V did not cost me the victory. But I think that's the first stuck tile end game we've had, so I'm glad to have one of those on video. So an interesting game, and quite a tight game throughout. So I hope you enjoyed watching that and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.